Welcome to JNN News for our annual event, the Year in Review. This year has been full of violence and fighting, but now it is past. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the 1856 Year in Review.
Senator Charles Sumner of Massachusetts was an avowed abolitionist and leader of the Republican Party. After the sack of Lawrence on May 21, 1856, he gave a bitter speech in the Senate called The Crime Against Kansas. Part of this oratory was a bitter personal tirade against South Carolina Senator Andrew Butler. Representative Preston Brooks of South Carolina thought Sumner went too far. Defending the reputation of one's family was at the top of the list. A distant cousin of Senator Butler, Brooks, decided to teach Charles Sumner a lesson he would not soon forget. 2 days after this end of Sumner's speech, Brooks entered the Senate chamber where Sumner was working at his desk. He flatly told Sumner, "You libeled my state and slandered my white-haired old relative, Senator Butler, and I've come to punish you for it." Brooks proceeded to strike Sumner over the head repeatedly with a gold-tipped cane. In March 1857, in one of the most controversial events preceding the American Civil War, the U.S. Supreme Court issued its decision in the case of Dred Scott v. Sanford. The case had been brought before the court by Dred Scott, a slave who had lived with his owner in a free state before returning to the slave state of Missouri. Scott argued that his time spent in these locations entitled him to emancipation. In his decision, Chief Justice Roger B. Taney, a staunch supporter of slavery, disagreed. The court found that no black, free or slave, could claim U.S. citizenship, and therefore blacks were unable to petition the court for their freedom. The Dred Scott decision incensed abolitionists and heightened North-South tensions, which would erupt in war just 3 years later. Bleeding Kansas is the term used to describe the period of violence during the settling of the Kansas Territory. In 1854, the Kansas-Nebraska Act overturned the Missouri Compromise's use of latitude as the boundary between slave and free territory, and instead, using the principle of popular sovereignty, decreed the residents would determine whether this area became a free state or a slave state. And here's the winner, James Buchanan of the Democratic Party. President James Buchanan of the Democratic Party is a simple man that grew up in a log cabin with his 10 siblings. Now for the...
Hi, I'm here with James Buchanan, the winner of the 1856 election. Hi.
Hello.
So, there's a few questions that we want to address here. And first would be your views on slavery.
My views on slavery. Well, we had a very neutral opinion about slavery. Now, slavery could lead us into a war that we could just not be in.
That's a very good opinion, and I think that's a big part of the reason that you won the election.